In this video, I'm going to go through some of the things that I think are important at this stage in my career. I'm in my late 50s. I've been actively saving for retirement since my 20s, and I have friends that are retired already and other friends that are talking about it. I just wanted to touch base on some of the things that you should be doing when you're in your 50s in terms of being ready for retirement as well. If this topic is interesting to you, please give a like and subscribe. With retirement planning, the goal is to retire comfortably by the age of 50. You don't want any rude surprises. You don't want to be like those folks that are retiring with absolutely nothing. There are advantages to early planning. You get to maximize your savings because of the compounding, and you also get to build that safety net. There are some challenges with retirement, though, that I don't think people are necessarily prepared for. A big one is the fact that a lot of us tie our personal identities to what we do for a living. When you meet somebody new, a common question is, what do you do? Well, how are you going to answer that after you retire? It's tough when your identity is tied to what you do for a living. So before you retire, you want to think about how you're going to be spending your time in retirement and transitioning to doing those things that gives you more confidence in terms of filling your time when you're finally retired. So there's some emotional preparation because it's a significant transition. Of course, you'll have financial concerns because it's easy to manage a budget when you have a check coming, if you're salaried, coming like clockwork. It's easy to plan. With retirement, you have to basically plan your income based on the amount of money you have saved. You will be withdrawing a certain amount of money and adding that to the Social Security benefits that are available if you claim. So you have to actively plan your income. And there might be surprises, expenses, a house might need a new roof, a tree might come down on your house. All sorts of things happen that when you are salaried, you feel more prepared for taking on that type of expense and incurring some debt. But when you're retired, it becomes much more of a challenging situation. Some other questions that come up are health and emotional adjustments. So you have to face up to the fact that you'll be going through declining health as you age, and you have to have that sense of purpose when you're retired. And having that sense of purpose will help you avoid social isolation, which is a big problem nowadays. All age groups are dealing with increasing numbers of folks that are socially isolated. You don't want to be adding to that group. So strategies for retirement planning, budgeting, investing, healthcare planning, these are all the things that you need to be doing if you want to have a successful retirement. You also want financial preparation where you budget, invest, and take care of your health so that you can enjoy your life in retirement. And again, those lifestyle adjustments. You might have to downsize. You might have to adjust to living on a fixed income. And you have to find new hobbies and new passions to fill your time. One of the benefits of having extra time, now that you're retired, is you'll have more time to maintain relationships, to visit friends, take those road trips to see folks that you would love to see. And those trips and those bonds you build with family and friends are going to help you avoid that loneliness and social isolation. Retirement's the golden years that you've been working hard for, and it's the time in your life where you are free to pursue your dreams and finally relax after many years of hard work. It's a stage of life that a lot of us are looking forward to, but you have to be real about it. It's not all sunshine and rainbows. There's rising costs of living because of inflation, which is affecting everyone globally. There's also increasing healthcare expenses, a uniquely American problem, I'll say, and also decreasing Social Security benefits. The demographics of our population are unfortunately trending to where the Social Security system is going to have a harder and harder time having to pay benefits for the large number of folks that are retirement age while paying for those benefits based on the working population that's getting smaller. So it's just a demographic shift that's not helping the Social Security Administration. So all of those things weigh in to successful retirement planning. And that's exactly what we're going to talk about. With successful retirement planning, you can position yourself as best as possible to have a comfortable, stress-free, and successful retirement. Now, 50 might seem like a young age to be thinking about retirement, but trust me, it's the perfect time to start planning. By the time you reach your 50s, you've probably accumulated a significant portion of your retirement funded, and you've worked enough years to be at a certain point in your career. You've got that momentum. So you're probably in your prime years of earning, and it's the stage they call the wealth accumulation stage, where your income is as high as it's going to be, and hopefully you've managed your debt and your expenses so that you have quite a bit of leeway to save that income for retirement. And that gives you a head start also. If you start in your 50s, you're ahead of your peers. The sooner you make those plans and maximize your retirement accounts and build that safety net, the better off you'll be with that peace of mind. Another advantage of planning your retirement at 50 is that you still have plenty of time. You can take some risks, you can make some mistakes, you can learn from them, and it's not too late. Let's not forget, in your 50s, you're able to stay active, travel, and explore new hobbies that will help you make the most of your retirement when you finally get there. Another advantage of planning for retirement at 50 is that you still have plenty of runway, right? Time is still on your side. You can take some risks, you can make some mistakes, you can learn from them and pivot, and it's not too late. Another benefit is you're still young enough, you're still active, you still have the time to explore those new hobbies that you'll be leaning into when you're finally retired, and be in a position to make the most of your retirement years. Now, here's the thing. Getting ready for retirement in your 50s isn't just about number crunching. It's also about preparing yourself mentally and emotionally, because this is going to be a significant transition. What are the challenges you might be thinking? Well, we're going to talk about them. Retirement is especially daunting around the topic of money. The questions will inevitably come up. Will I have enough to live comfortably? Will I be able to afford my dream lifestyle? All of those types of questions are valid concerns. After decades of earning a steady paycheck, it's a real adjustment to have to shift from having income coming in based on your work to having income coming in based on your own plans. Another big worry is health. As you age, your body slows down, and depending on the type of person you are, that can be tough to accept, especially if you're someone who's always been active and independent. But let's not forget, there's an emotional impact to this dwindling health and losing your identity when you leave the workforce. So for a lot of us, our jobs are the biggest part of who we are. When we retire, a lot of us will feel lost. It's especially important to find a purpose, find a passion that's going to fill your time in retirement. Then there's the social aspect. When you retire, you're going to lose your social connections. In the workplace, we have our work friends, we have our work team, we have people we have lunch with. And that can lead to feelings of loneliness and isolation. And you might also feel like you're losing your sense of community, being part of a team or a corporation. And that can be really hard to replace. So how do you deal with those challenges? Well, we're going to talk about that. So when it comes to retirement planning, there are a few key strategies you can use to set yourself up for success. The big one is budgeting. You're going to need to get a clear picture of your expenses, income, and debts. With that information, you'll have a realistic plan for your retirement years. It's probably going to involve some cutting back, especially around unnecessary expenses. Also, you really want to position yourself with as little debt as possible. So you'd want to pay off high interest debt and build up an emergency fund prior to retirement to reduce the stress around money. Another key strategy is investing. You can't just put your money in a savings account. You really have to be active and actively investing what you can, even in retirement. You need to have an investment plan in place, which would mean you would diversify your portfolio, taking advantage of tax-advantaged accounts and calculated risks to maximize your returns on money you don't need in the short term. A lot of people sign up with a financial planner. It makes a lot of sense. You want to avoid financial planners that charge an AUM, assets under management fee, where they charge a percent based on your portfolio. You want to avoid anyone who's charging you based on a percentage. You want to get a fiduciary, which means they are only interested in helping you. They're not going to be interested in collecting commissions based on the things you're buying. So the difference is one will charge you an hourly rate or a flat fee, maybe $3,000 or $5,000 for your financial plan, and it's a one-time cost. That's what you want. You don't want somebody who says, I just charge you 1% every year, because that actually turns out to be a terrible deal for you as a consumer. Healthcare is another part. Aside from the finances, it's a really important part of planning for retirement, because you need to think about how you're going to pay for healthcare, especially if you're retiring early and you're not eligible for Medicare. You've also got to think about long-term care insurance in case you're unable to take care of yourself. You want to be able to afford that support, which is a uniquely American problem. The other thing to think about are lifestyle changes. You may want to downsize, move to a smaller house because you're living on a fixed income, and you don't want to be house poor, right? And you don't want to be responsible for heating and cooling a very large house when it's probably an empty nest, right? So you may want to think about downsizing so that you have more money to live. And having more money to live means you can spend that money on things like new hobbies and other interests and travel that are going to keep you busy, happy, and fulfilled. It's all about those relationships. You need to keep in touch with your friends and your family so you don't feel lonely and isolated. And by downsizing, you'll have more money to enjoy keeping those connections alive. Now, I know this all sounds overwhelming, and it's probably a lot of information, and this can be true, especially if you're starting out. So the key is you really want to start small, focus on one aspect of this retirement planning journey, and be patient. You're not going to learn everything overnight. Be patient and give yourself the time and the grace to build your knowledge and your skills around retirement planning. It's going to take time, and you just want to be realistic about how much time it's going to take. So here's the deal with getting ready for retirement at 50. It's not just about saving money. It's also about getting your mind and your heart ready for this big change. You're going to need to budget, invest, take care of your health, make some lifestyle changes, and also keep your relationships strong. If you do those things, you're going to be set up for a successful and enjoyable retirement. Now, if you're starting out on your retirement journey, don't be afraid. There are plenty of resources to help you. I've got a playlist of videos dedicated to retirement planning and financial advice. So check them out and share your own retirement questions or plans in the comments below. Hopefully this video was helpful for you. If it was, subscribe for upcoming videos on similar topics, and like the video if it was helpful at all. I'll see you in the next one.